Hello, this is Edip. It is May 15, 2020. I am right now in Iowa, temporarily here for business, and we are broadcasting here, and hopefully soon we'll have some participants to discuss this issue. Since 1980, I became very closely aware of the Palestinian plight, and it has been since many decades, more than 70 years, generations. We are witnessing this tragedy in front of the world. However, I don't see the light in the end of the tunnel. I have some very important point to make. One, the Arab countries, so-called Muslim countries, they are all lying. They are basically giving false hope to Palestinians. For maybe temporarily, in 1960s, they had some real support, but of course, they are not match. They are not match. 1.5 billion so-called Muslims, since they have betrayed their God-given mind, they have betrayed the Quran, they have betrayed their honor, and unfortunately, therefore, they have corrupt, oppressive leaders, thieves all around. And they themselves, unfortunately, not very righteous. When they get power, they become oppressors, killers, murderers. When they are weak, they become basically hypocrites and flatterers. Now, that is one thing. As far as I want to deal with Erdogan first, Erdogan's right now Palestinians, another hope is Erdogan. Erdogan is lying. He doesn't care really about Palestinians. As what was it? His name? There was a Lebanese former minister of environment, and he's leader of another party, small party. He said Erdogan is a watermelon seller. He makes noises, he yells, screams. His whole deal is to take the flag of Palestinians from Iran, basically to exploit it. Absolutely. Right now, Turkey, while kind of verbally protesting this, but have very strong ties with Israel. Israel is the eighth exporter, Turkey's eighth exporter, a country which Turkey exports number eight, but third importer. Turkey imports from Israel so much that Israel in the list is third. Therefore, it is all lies. The rhetoric against Israel by Erdogan is all lies, is all deception, and he doesn't care. You remember, did he care about Uyghur Turks in China? Not at all. They are right now subjected to cultural genocide. They don't care because he cares all about his throne and his rule and the money that he steals from the country. Palestinian people, unfortunately, are given false hopes, but from the beginning, there was major problem. The major problem started with the genocide against Jewish people in Germany. And now this was a Christian nation in the middle of Europe. They massacred, killed millions of Jewish people. The first error was after that, not giving them a land in the middle of Europe, in Germany. and they were already got used to culture and languages of in Europe. It was their ecology and habitat. Therefore, the best deal should have been carving a space for them in the land which they were born, the European Jews. But that was not done. In fact, Hitler wanted to kick them out. Well, out of Europe was the best deal for Europeans, for those people even who were against the genocide. And also I understand the Jewish interest in Israel or Palestine. It is historical, their land. Put yourself in their shoes, in their mantle, and then think about it, that they are massacred in a country in Europe. They want to live there. They are angry, and they want a new land. They want to go back to their ancestors' land. And I think that desire should have been accepted and supported by Arabs in the region. They should have told Jewish people after Second World War, and our cousins, our brothers, we feel very sad, sorry for your plight, that you are massacred by Europeans, and we welcome you, welcome back to your land, to our land that we share. They should have opened their land. When Muhammad was kicked out from Mecca, when he was threatened, he was welcomed by people in Medina. And the so-called Muslims, they praise Medina, they welcome Prophet Muhammad, they become Ansar. Well, here it is. Jewish people, your cousins, forget about cousins, human beings. They are massacred in Europe in millions. If you have some little empathy and also a little share from the Quran, the whole earth belongs to God. Doesn't belong to you, doesn't belong to me, no one. And if a group of people are hurt in a land, if they are killed and massacred and discriminated against, they look for a space, you should be the one, open your house, share your home with them. As a Muslim, it is our duty. But Arabs did not, or so-called Sunnis, did not act like Muslims. They act as worshippers of the land. They should have opened, welcome my brother, we feel very sorry for your loss. Let's share this land. There was enough land that time. Still there is enough land. It's not because of scarcity of land, because of worshiping the earth, about tribalism, about selfishness, those kind of things. Therefore, there was one mistake made, not giving them a land in the middle of Germany. And the second mistake was made by Arabs or Muslims around. They didn't welcome this group of people who are mistreated so badly. They should have hugged them, welcomed them, become their Ansar, their supporters. They didn't do that. And later, some of the Jewish people, they become aggressors. They start attacking. And it's another mistake. And then the other continued. And later, Balfour Declaration in 1947, 48, Declaration of Israel. But after that, Israel says, okay, let's share this land. I don't remember exactly the details, go read about it, but they rejected, Palestinians rejected it. No, we want all the land, it is ours. And this time again, greed and tribalism or racism. And then Israel became more militaristic and racist. And now you see Jewish people turned like their enemies, like Nazis, like fascists. Not all, of course. There are people with Jewish people with conscience, with good values. They are against this. But at least I would say half of the Israeli population have turned like Nazis. Their mentality, they are racist, they are aggressors, they are killers, massacres, they don't care. But the same with the so-called Muslims. They turned like mushriks, they are racist, they are aggressors, they worship the earth. And therefore, what is it? I think both sides are making, and Hamas. We can justify the creation, the Hamas as a reaction to occupation, military occupation, very without mercy. It is a very brutal occupation. And we can justify that one, which I don't call Hamas as a terrorist organization, because as I argued in British Parliament for about 1.5 hours, I consider the biggest terrorist organization are governments, the producers of biggest weapons, those who commit atrocities, declare wars, and sell weapons all around, and kill millions of people in war. It is the state, not the so-called terror organizations. Terror organizations are very minor league. In fact, byproduct of aggression of nations, states. And now what Hamas may be considered initially as a justifiable reaction to state terrorism, but Hamas ultimately is helping in Israeli occupation and apartheid regime and its propaganda. How? Israel is justifying in front of the world its atrocities against Palestinians by using Hamas. Hamas, as if coming to the help of Israel, as through some stupid rockets, like peanut-sized rockets that doesn't do any help, except provides cover for Israel to justify its atrocities. Here, Israel, you are killing us, but we are also attacking you. And Israel says, here it is, we are defending ourselves against Hamas rockets. Perfect cover for Israeli atrocities. Israel is not David. Is Goliath pretending, Goliath, how do you pronounce it? I don't even know how to pronounce it. Is Goliath pretending to be David? And Hamas or Palestinians, they are not also Muslims. They are mushriks, they are idol worshippers, they are very aggressive. If they had the power of Israel, they would not treat Jews I'm sorry, I apologize for this noise. It's coming, I need to turn it. They are not just either. When they got to power, we see how they treat other people and even themselves. And therefore, I think there is only one option right now left. Two-state is a big lie. It's false hope for Palestinians. And let me take another person is here. Haidar, welcome. Two-state option is a big lie, is a false hope. Palestinians are given kind of false hope by the countries, and they are unfortunately getting killed, massacred. No one is helping them. Turkey will not help. Turkey, Erdogan, sold even 9 martyrs, young people who were killed by Israel. They were activists, they wanted to help. They had flotilla, a small boat, some 8 food and medicine for Gaza at that time. And Israel, in front of the world, killed these people. They didn't have weapons. They were basically human rights activists, killed 9 of them. And they filed lawsuit in Turkey against the commanders, Israeli commanders, the butchers who killed these 9 people. And Erdogan sold these families of these 9 people who were killed to Israel, got $20 million for $20 million. Therefore, if there is any Palestinian listen to you, you must be an idiot if you trust Erdogan. Erdogan will not help you. Just look at it. Erdogan is a partner with Israel, military economy, is the 3rd biggest country that import goods from Israel, and got even the Medal of Courage from ADL, a Zionist organization in the United States. You must be really an idiot to trust Erdogan or any other so-called Arab countries. Therefore, stop having false ideas. You are on your own, and there is no hope, there is no real politics, impossible. You will not get a separate state. Then be realistic. The reality is your ancestors missed many opportunities. And unfortunately, the Zionists and this terrorist state took advantage of it. And here is reality. The reality is it is impossible to have another state. There is not much contiguous land left. They have taken land. Therefore, you should strive. You should do 2 things. 1, eliminate Hamas. Hamas is no use, is not helping you. By throwing those stupid rockets will not help anyone. You will not be able to beat Israel with those stupid rockets. But those stupid rockets help Israel to do propaganda to justify its atrocities and occupation against you. Therefore, Hamas is right now your enemy. I understand Hamas, your children right now went to Hamas because of the emotions. But don't be emotional, use your mind. Hamas is no help. As PKK is no help to Kurdish people. Kurdish people massacred in Turkey, their human rights are violated, but PKK is a cover for Turkish fascism and military atrocities against Kurdish people. All the time they use, terrorism, PKK, and then they attack Kurdish towns and take away all the rights of the Kurdish people. Right now, the Kurdish party leaders or mayors, they were hijacked by the governing fascist Erdogan's party. Why? Because of PKK. PKK provides cover, propaganda for these atrocities. The same with Hamas. Therefore, eliminate Hamas. No, we are not going to join because you are not able to win this war by power. You don't have power. Israel has nuclear weapons. If once can destroy all of you. You are throwing little rockets. Stupid. 2, one-state solution is not, a 2-state solution is not possible. There is no reality of it. Don't pursue false dreams. Be realistic. Therefore, say, we want to live in a one state, in federal design, federal structure, in a federal structure. Maybe Israelis have some concern regarding demographies. Okay, we can protect you, eliminate your fear regarding demographic being rolled over by our population. Maybe you will have Senate, and Senate will be equal, or some other arrangement in Constitution, so that your fear will be eliminated. And one state, we should be equal, 2 nations in one state. Maybe even the name of the state maybe could be negotiated, but I am happy with the name Israel. You should be happy too. Israel, without this government, apartheid, racist government, Israel is a beautiful name. The meaning of the name is beautiful. Israel is mentioned in the Quran, is one of the prophets, great prophets, correct? Therefore, you shouldn't have problem with the name of Israel. And second, in fact, this land in the Quran is given to Jewish people, to children of Israel. You can say, well, it was in the past, but at least it is verse in the Quran. You will be respecting that one too at the same time. And therefore, that is my suggestion. Let's see what we have here. Haidar, no one came. I didn't really much invite people. It was the last minute. Hold on, let me see. I need to see the chat. I said, the live chat.
Hi, Edip.
Okay, hold on. Here. Let's see what is written here. Okay, here.
If I can explain some ideas.
Yeah, just let me read some of the comments. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to give link to some people to come over here. Let me give link to people who are joining us. Maybe some people will object to my criticism, correct? Let me invite them, give them a Zoom link, invitation link. Okay, I am right now posting invitation link for people who are in live chat. Here it is. You may click the link for Zoom and come over. I right now share with you. Okay. Okay, Tariq Ramazan, no, I have no connection with Tariq Ramazan. But if you contact him, let him know my greetings. If he wants to come over here, no problem. I would like to interview him too. Okay. Okay. Yes, go ahead, Haidar.
Bismillah, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I want to focus your attention on this 3779. It says, Salamun ala Nuhin fi al-alamina. So this kind of expression, fi al-alamina, there's only here in this particular ayah. The rest of the verses in this surah, they don't have anything like it. Neither in all Quran you cannot see al-alamina with fi. So this is strange. Strange according to the local 37 chapter situation, and in general, in Quran in general. Just I'm focusing the attention. Second, in this chapter 37, there are I think 5 prophets are mentioned. First is Nuh, second Abraham, then Musa and Harun, then Ilyasin. So it's 5, and they mentioned in certain places. By the way, in 60, I think 26 chapter. Let me check. The one says Shora. Also, Nuh, Abraham, Musa, and Harun are mentioned, but in the opposite places. 3 to 1, 1 to 3. Just a moment, let me check. Yes, in 26. I put a question for myself. Why they mentioned in these places? First is Nuh, and if you read the story of Nuh in 37th chapter, it's just general. And when it starts, when the story of Abraham starts, it shows his relationship with his son, full of trust, full of Islam, full of mutual understanding. And what we know about Nuh and Nuh's son rejected to follow him in the Al-Fulqa. And why did he reject this? And I connected with his mother, the wife of Nuh, because the wife of Nuh in chapter 66.
I have difficulty to understand the connection with the issue at hand right now.
So, for example, two stories. One story about Nuh in this 37th chapter. The second story about Abraham. They follow one another. In episode about Nuh, this all general. Everything is general. And in the episode with Abraham, his son mentioned, actually two of his sons. First which was supposed to be sacrificed, and he said, "Okay, father, do it."
Okay.
Showing the great iman, great trust to his father and to God. So this is the first sample. In second sample, we should find somewhere else. It's in 11th chapter. In 11th chapter, it says that when Nuh asked his son to follow him to barking to his fulka, to his ark, his son rejected, and that's all. Why son rejected? I'm putting question like this, and I see his the example of his mother, the wife of Nuh, and in 66, I think 11, it says that she's a mathala lilladina kafaru. So mother's kafaru and son is kafaru. So, and this it's a psychological question of mothers and sons connection. And if mother shows her disrespect and disbelief to the father, to her wife, to her husband, her son also reflects the same attitude.
Again, people right now listening to these, we have an issue right now. People are killed in Israel, in Palestine, and you are going a kind of discussion on some meaning of verses. I understand anything we can discuss later, but right now it is about a current issue. Do you have any solution, any suggestion for this one? Right now, people are not listening to these in order.
Okay, Edip, okay, understand. I'll just make some notes and listen to you.
Yeah, no, I understand. I would enjoy it in another.
I understand. Not everybody will understand.
But the topic of this subject right now, is there any different solution, suggestion for this conflict, which has been generations and generations? And as I said, it is right now, two-state is impossible. Anyone is giving these hope is lying, is fooling, misleading Palestinian people. They are not fighting for Palestinians. Turkey didn't even throw a bullet for Palestinian people, neither for Uyghur Turks. It's all big lie. Turkey is always right now, especially Erdogan, is after his throne. He stole people's money. He made the biggest mansion for himself while people starving. Those who idiots, I would say, who kind of clap, praise Erdogan. Erdogan is a big thief, unfortunately. People's money stole, make for himself biggest mansion on earth and a lavish lifestyle. His wife just got to purchase one purse. 49,000 euros he spent. They didn't have money when they became to power. They are biggest thief in Turkey, maybe in the world right now. You cannot be Muslim and stealing people's money and starving them to death. Right now, Turkey people are committing suicide because they don't have money to eat. Therefore, you cannot expect help from this guy. He's a crook. He turned Turkey to a big prison. And therefore, I tell to Palestinians, if your leader, your salvation is through Erdogan, you deserve what you are right now in because you are not using your God-given mind. Be an honest person. And therefore, look around. Unfortunately, there is no help. Saudi Arabia is #1 ally of Israel, like Turkey, and Iran is only a rhetoric they are using for domestic policy purposes. You don't have help. You are on your own, and you cannot fight Israel with Hamas. You say, I will die. Okay, unfortunately, we cannot help you. But don't worship the things. When messengers of God, when they were oppressed, they didn't worship the ground. They left their countries, like Moses. In Egypt, they were oppressed. They left Egypt. They went to the desert. They preferred the desert. And Muhammad, oppressed in Mecca, left to Yathrib, to Medina. And therefore, either live there, you cannot live, I understand, because the countries around you, they do not even help you. And therefore, have a deal with them. Say, I don't want a kind of a different country. I tell this to Kurdish people too. Kurdish people, they think I am there. Oh, you are betraying us. We want a different flag. What is this flag business? Them with all the flags. Worshippers of flags. For a piece of cloth that you make up, put just some symbols and colors on it, wave it and kill other people. The most stupid things ever. No flag is sacred. Damn with all the flags. But human life is important because the Quran says the biggest crime is killing an innocent person. But when flag is waved, any country's flag, you see people going crazy. They become thirsty for shedding blood of other people, even children. Therefore, if you are a decent human being, you should be saying, okay, let's live in peace together. Okay, let's be free like you. We don't want a different country, state. Let's have this state, already their state. But if they don't accept it, at that time, Israel will be in difficulty because they will not have the cover of Hamas or having problem kind of with another say. Even you will have a lot of allies among Israelis in the world. The whole things will change against Israel that time. Israel will not be able to continue this fascism, militarism, and occupation forever. That is my solution. Why don't you want to live in peace and free as equal citizens? Why not? I say to the Kurdish people too. You fight for another state, what is it? Are you stupid or crazy? You want to kind of put around you walls, separate yourself from other people? Right now, smart people are destroying those borders. Like in Europe, eliminate the borders, fake borders. We are all children of Adam. We're all brothers and sisters. But nationalism and religious divisions, two of them are evil things that promoted by dividers, by clergymen and by politicians to divide us so that they get in power. And therefore we should support equality of Arabs and Jews, Kurds and Turks, and we should stand against jingoism, nationalism, and religious fanaticism and division. There is only one religion that should be the religion of the world, peacemaking. In Arabic is Islam, in Turkish is barışçılık, in English is peacemaking, in Kurdish is ashti. That is my religion. When you ask me my religion, if you ask me in Turkish, I will say barışsever. In English, I am peacemaker. If you are peacemaker, you don't distinguish between Arab or Jew, or Kurd or Turk, or English or German. We are all children of Adam. We should have equal rights. But I see racism all over, and people who are racist, they don't call themselves racist. If you ask these Zionists, oh, they are not racist. You are racist. They are the worst racists. If you ask these Turkish racists who hate Kurdish people, they are racist. Or Chinese who hate Uyghur Turks, they are racist. All around the world, we see racism. Racism camouflages itself under different disguises, names, like whatever, nationalism, whatever, but it is ultimately, it is racism. Therefore, we should unite, and we should eliminate the borders separating us. And Zoom user, who are you? Nice to see you. I think we have, Aydar doesn't know Turkish. So far we have all here Turkish. I don't know the Zoom user, whether they are Turkish speakers or not. Tomorrow I will have Turkish, the topic, we'll discuss it in Turkish.
Yeah,
Zoom
we are
user.
Turkish speakers.
Ha?
Türkçe konuşabiliyoruz. Arkadaşım Kürtçe de biliyor lazımsa.
İyi, hoş bulduk.
Merhaba Edip abi, nasılsın?
Teşekkür ederim.
Hatırladın mı beni?
Konuş, dinle. Bunun başlığını İngilizce attım ve bu İngilizce konuşanlar tarafından paylaşılacak, dinlenecektir. Yani şu anda katılmasa burada hepsi. Ama cumartesi Türkçe değil, İngilizce yapıyorum. Onun için İngilizce konuşacağız. We'll continue speaking English because this video will be on YouTube and the title is in English. Will be, I made a mistake. The title, I put T inside the parentheses. Oh my gosh, that was a mistake. The title should be E, English, E for English. I made a mistake in title, but the title I put it English. However, the symbol, I need to correct it. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Can anyone look at the chat, whether there is any comments, important comments that we need to deal with? Answer questions. Okay. Okay. Someone says no border like Europe. That is very good sound, but Muslims make more and more borders in each other. Yeah, that's right. Unfortunately, we should try to eliminate the borders. And I am for federal governments. Federal governments are good, but again, the more unified, the better. We don't need to have passports to move from one place to another. And the whole world, we should, inshallah, promote peace, eliminate military. Ultimate goal should be eliminating militaries killing each other. We spend so much money and energy and blood on militaries. And also I have some suggestion regarding politics. In order to reduce wars, we should pass in our constitution, pass law, any national congress, any minister or president of a country declaring war or promoting war, they or their children should be in front lines. If there are 10 soldiers die, one of them should be the children of the people who are in Congress and member of the elite. Otherwise, the children of the poor people should not go fight the war declared by the rich for the rich. They get even richer during war times, and they are also declared heroes, which they are not. They are cowards. They hide in their palaces, in their villas, and they make even lucrative profit, and they get even medals while they send the children of the poor people to kill the children of the other poor people. Netanyahu is a thief. Netanyahu is a thief. Thief, petty thief. He was in fact indicted There are lawsuits against him for corruption. He's a thief, but in order to distract people, he creates this conflict. He escalates the conflict in order to create something and unify racist people in Israel and behind him, waving flag, meanwhile stealing from the country. The same Erdogan is doing, the same Modi is doing. Look at around. The dictators and the thieves, big thieves, they wave flags and create conflicts in order to distract people. And when people also get excited, their hormones increase, they get more stupid, their IQ level go down, and they don't look around, they don't see what is done to their country by those people who are waving flags, the thieves. They steal their resources, natural resources, they even steal from the
You are
future.
true.
Yes.
Hi. Hi for everyone.
Who are
Hello.
you?
My name is Azat. I'm Kurdish, but I am. Can you hear me?
You are not visible. You are not visible. If you want, you can show yourself if you wish. Okay.
I cannot show my face. Sorry. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay, I do hear you. Yes.
Okay. Now, what Hamas or between Hamas between Israel, what happened? Same Turkey doing for Kurdish people. That is Kurdish genocide. America accepted Armenian genocide. Must have to accept Kurdish genocide because 2013 Kurdish people they was not do nothing in Cizre. Okay, Kurdish city Cizre. This Turkish government they killed 10,000 Kurdish inside 1 year. Now Israel protect itself. This is one. Second, Hamas is terrorist because Hamas is always protecting Ottoman Empire and always they are fighting for Turkish. That is Hamas is terrorist. I don't accept Israel, but that is another thing is Turkey just accepted for Hamas for political, but they didn't do anything for the Turkestan or in China for something.
Yeah, I don't call Hamas terrorists for the very reason. If I call Hamas terrorists, Israel is 777 times more terrorist. And therefore, I don't. But I think Hamas is stupid because Hamas is helping Israelis covering its atrocities by showing Hamas peanut rockets. And therefore, in that regard, I don't call it. I think they are in a very tough situation. Israeli, in just 2014, you remember, Israel claimed that Hamas was throwing rockets. Well, there was a reason. They were, in fact, you could say there was a reason. Israel was assassinating Palestinians, bombing them through drones. And then they later declared that Hamas was throwing rockets and they attacked Gaza in 2014. They killed 2,000 Palestinians, destroyed hundreds of houses, bombed them, and 500 Palestinian children Israel killed. 500 children in schools and hospitals. And Israel lost 2 soldiers. 2,000 Palestinians, they killed 500 children, and Israel lost only 2 soldiers trained and armed to kill people, the killers. And what happened that time I watched the world's reaction. Unbelievable, the propaganda machine, how distorted the event. Israel became victim, the one that killed 2,000 Palestinians, bombed their homes in rubble, 500 children, count until 500. 1, 2, 3 child, 4 child, 5 child. These are children. Israel deliberately killed them. And then 2 soldiers died while they were massacring them. And I saw Barack Obama, the American president, who got Peace Prize, Nobel Prize, one of the worst presidents in one way. In one way, I was happy, first black president, but on the other hand, a coward, a betrayer. He sent his condolences for these two soldiers. He didn't even mention 2,000 Palestinians, 500 children. Therefore, we live in a very corrupt world. The leaders are heartless. They don't care about human life. They don't care about truth, unfortunately. Therefore, we the people, what should we do? We should not worship states. If you are calling terrorists, small groups like PKK terrorists, you are justifying exactly the terrorist states which create this because they survive, they continue their terrorism, their military operations based on these exaggerating these little organizations, which is their byproduct, the byproduct of state violence. Therefore, be careful. If you are calling Hamas terrorists, you should call Israel 777 times terrorists. But because you are Kurd, you think that you are oppressed by Turkey, this should not lead you to side with Israel, because Israel give lip service to Kurdish cause. Then you lose your honor, you lose your righteousness. Just because Israel is supporting you, and you cannot justify Israel killing Palestinians as a Kurdish person. Absolutely. It is appalling. It is disgusting. As a Kurdish person, I cannot. Okay? Therefore, please don't fall into the mistake and be an honorable Kurdish person. Stand for the rights of Turkish people in China when they are subjected to genocide, cultural genocide over there. Don't be a racist. If you are against racism, against you are fighting against racism, you cannot be a racist. The moment you become racist, you become like your enemy. When I see some Kurdish people acting racist, I say, hello, you turn exactly like your enemy that you hate. You are no more different than your enemy. Therefore, we should promote brotherhood, friendship among nations, regardless of their race and religion. We should promote peace. We should stand against warmongers, regardless of their religion and race. Even if my brother, I should reject. Yes.
Yes. And who is the next one, dear Edip Hoca?
I think I should end soon. I will have maybe maximum 5.
I just want to say some basic stuff, but I'm not sure. If you don't get it, it's okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, I just want to say here, when I read on chat and I just see that people want to be a side of one place. Some people say that I'm the side of the Israel. Some of them are just saying that I'm a Hamas supporter. In whole sense, you don't have to decide about this. Okay, when you look outside, Israel is a big state. Not a big state, but it is the stronger part. It has the better weapons, and of course, the Palestinian side has just some basic stuff. So, in that perspective, it seems like Palestinians are seeming much more right, and they are losing their civilians as well as an alternative to this. And when we check from the other side, of course, Hamas is also committing a kind of crime, and they are aiming basically the civilians as well. And if they would succeed, they would do that. They would just kill people as well, if they will be stronger. It's just unfortunately a sad topic. And there's also one other sad topic that, of course, we have still the nations, and we have still the flags and country borders. Hopefully one day we will overcome this thing. So I just want to say, our people, I'm the Kurdish person, so Israel is good. And there's also one other stuff that I hate. in Turkey, even among the, let's say, liberal people, or they who claims that they are not religious, or etc., they have a kind of racism against the Arabian people, which is quite annoying for me. I mean, the Palestinians are just the same human beings like you. I mean, also same for Israeli people. I met a lot of Israeli people, Jewish people from Israel, also the Palestinians from Israel, and of course they are really people like us. They are from Mediterranean, and their culture is quite similar to us. Even the Jewish culture that we claim that they are totally our enemies. So just know that it is just something sad which is happening in Israel, and it's also double worse that civilians are killing. I just wanted to say this. I'm not going to do deep dive.
Yeah, thank you very much. I want to get ready to finish it. Someone says Turkey and Iran should be wiped off map, Israel and Kurdistan forever. That is a bad idea, very negative, very horrible statement. We don't want, no country should be wiped off. No city should be wiped off from the face of the earth or from the map. That's kind of rhetoric, that kind of desire is not righteous, is not good, is evil. Therefore, you cannot, by saying long live Kurdistan, long live Israel, but Iran and Turkey should be destroyed, is a very bad statement. However, we can talk about the governments in Iran, in Turkey, in Israel, in Kurdistan. Unfortunately, all these governments are evil, bad. Unfortunately, governments should change. We should have better governments. We should have governments that respect human rights, individual rights, and should promote peace rather than wars, and should not be corrupt, should not be thieves. And that is for everyone. And therefore, no hatred against any nation, no animosity against any human being except against aggressors. That's it. And we want to live in peace. We have to promote peace in this world. We have enough hatred and wars and conflicts, my brother. If you're really a good Kurdish person, you should say, I love Jewish people, I love Arabs, I love Turkish people, but we should live in peace. And we should all stand against those who promote wars and conflicts. That's it. Okay? Thank you very much.
One more word, sorry, one more question. Before 3 days ago in Antalya, they fighting some Kurdish people. They are fascists. First, that is in Palestine, Izzet in Qassam. Izzet in Qassam bridge, they're fighting. I don't accept any civilian Israel killers. I support Palestine. Of course, I support Palestine, but that is the wrong way.
That's good.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I'm Arab, our brother. One Salatin Ayubi that was opened of sorry, that it was controlling by Palestine or Israel, all, but it was controlling by Salatin Ayubi. Right. But Arab, they are similar Kurdish culture, but Turkish coming from different way. Kurdish people, even they didn't accept any Turkish people, they didn't accept any people from Kurdistan come to Turkey. Before 3 days ago, they're fighting kids, they're fighting women. Israel didn't accept this. I didn't same for Palestine, even I didn't accept it.
Thank you very much. My brother, again, we need to be careful not to fall to the
in the world, the most, in the in the world, the most fascist Turkish people. Also, by the way, Israel also have 700,000 Kurdish, Jewish Kurdish.
I don't generalize. I think, yes, there are many unfortunate racists in Turkey because of the...
No, I've been there many times. I have friends, they are singers, they are famous.
Because of the government propaganda, but there are also very beautiful Turkish people who promote peace, love Kurdish people, who doesn't discriminate because of the race. Therefore, we should be refraining from overgeneralization. Also try to create bridges among different nations, correct? We don't want to create more animosity and hatred between us. And at the same time, we should stand against aggressors, but at the same time, we try to promote peace among ourselves, among humans. There is no really difference between races. The word race is a false word. We are all so much the same. We are human beings. We are all children of Adam. We are brothers and sisters. Okay, thank you very much, people. Thank you. I appreciate your participation.